Why are so many companies going bankrupt all of a sudden? In the past year, we've seen an abnormal number of bankruptcy filings from a lot of well-known brands like Party City, TGI Fridays, and Joann's, just to name a few. And they all have one thing in common, and it's called private equity. So for those of you that don't know, private equity is essentially when a bunch of investors get together to buy a struggling business and then they try and improve its profitability to then turn it around and sell it for a higher price. At least on paper, that's how it works. But in practice, it is an evil way of doing business. Let's take Joann's for an example. Joann's was a perfectly healthy business until it was bought by private equity a few years ago and then ran into the ground intentionally to be used as a tax write-off. And this was done through something called a leveraged buyout. I'll spare you the details, but all you need to know is that Joann's was bought for around $400 million, and that $400 million in debt was then put on Joann's, not the private equity company. So now suddenly Joann's has this huge debt that they're obligated to pay back. Meanwhile, the executives at the private equity company get cushy salaries for sucking all of the life they can out of this perfectly healthy business and running it into the ground. And this isn't just a one-off example. This is the business model of private equity. We've seen this time and time again with other names like Sears and Toys R Us. And somehow this is all completely legal.